Whoa! We're back!
What's that I smell?
I think it's a... Man, really smells like
A myth.
a man.
The mystic.
The Sadhguru.
Alright, we're done with this.
Here for another episode of Learn With Us, where we take video content that is worth your time.
And we learn from it with you.
Alright, so, you know... We're on the short vibe right now.
We are.
We're liking these punchy Sadhgurus.
Yep.
So here we go with another little 4-minute video. Fighting your own thoughts? Question mark.
It's a little confusing because, maybe you shouldn't be fighting them. Maybe that's what he's going to say. But we never know what he's going to say.
So we'll find out.
So we'll find out.
Let's learn.
Right now with you.
You take away negative thoughts. Don't identify any thought as negative because it's just a thought. Who told you it's negative? It's just a thought. You're making it up, maybe you like it. What's the problem? If you understand it's just a thought, it has no power. If you think it's a reality, then it destroys you. It's just a thought, isn't it? Is it true that you made up the thought? No? You're having doubts about it because you are not thinking, you have a mental diarrhea happening.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm relating so much to this, but I just remembered that I woke up this morning. You know that state where you've just woken up and you're not even almost realizing the thoughts that are happening in your mind? I had all these negative cycle, like feedback loop type cycle thoughts that just kept running and running and running in my head. And then once I got up, I realized man, I create so much suffering in my life just from these running thoughts that oftentimes don't have to do with reality, and even if they do, they oftentimes don't help at all with the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it how he's referring to the fact that, we have the ability to make thoughts.
Yep.
But as of right now, our thought process has so little root in anything that it is just running. Running like diarrhea.
I like how you said that though,
Yeah.
It has little root in anything.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah, it just seems like, when you're on these spiral tangents,
Yeah.
it's just never connected to anything real right now.
Yeah, and then you tap right back into reality afterwards and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so useless. It just didn't get me anywhere.
So how do we get past it?
How do we get past it, Sadhguru?
Yes, it's simply happening. The word thinking means you're exercising your thought process consciously, isn't it? Yes? Thinking means you are doing something consciously. Right now this is in a state of mental diarrhea, it's just pouring all the time. Now, what is negative about it, what is positive about it? What is negative is, it's happening unconsciously, that is what is negative, not the content. You thought about a devil, that's negative, you thought about a god, that is positive, there's no such thing. The most negative thing that's happening right now is it's happening unconsciously. That is what is negative about it. And a whole lot of people have destroyed themselves trying to stop those thoughts that they think are negative.
I love, just in general, the way that he takes… We've talked about this before, but a long time ago, I think. The way that he takes something where everyone would normally pick a stance on it.
Yeah.
And breaks that idea. So rather than saying, I'm full of these ongoing negative thoughts, or I'm full of these ongoing positive thoughts, which, you would be happy in that case, I'm guessing. But that people think, I just need to flip these thoughts to positive. And he's like, no, first of all, you're just making up if it's positive or negative. That's just a value you're assigning to it.
Yeah.
One practice that I've heard that is kind of all about that type of thing It's like a loving compassion meditation. But what you do is you first think of someone that you absolutely love, and you let that feeling fill you up, right? And then you flip that person to someone who you know pretty well.
Okay.
But you then hold that feeling that was there for this person you really love on that person. Then you flip it to someone you don't know at all. Then you flip it to someone who maybe you don't like.
Wow.
And then it just shows that this emotion that you have towards the thing, your positive, negative, is just within you.
Yeah.
And when you can hold that person's face in your mind who you don't like, but you still feel all those positive emotions,
it's powerful.
then it's like, hey man, this is all inside of us.
Yeah. And it makes you realize that a lot of those negative emotions, or what you're thinking are negative emotions towards the person, are oftentimes just a lack of this mutual understanding that you have of each other. Because I've found that there have been so many people in my life where I'll initially think that I don't like them, or even months later I'll think I don't like them, but then the more and more I get to know that person, I all of a sudden find myself looking back and being like, oh my gosh, I used to not like this person, or think that I didn't like them, but once you get to know someone to a certain extent, it's like you understand why they are the way they are. And it's less of a judgment because like, oh, why aren't you just different? Because you understand why they're not different. You understand why they're not like you, because everyone's having a different experience here.
And then the question is, how quickly can you open up to that feeling?
Yeah.
Which then someone like Sadhguru is just open to that. And then that's where you see love in everything.
Yeah,
because,
ideally it wouldn't take me months and months to get to that point with certain people.
But it does for everyone who's not this guy.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful practice to try to work on that early.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see.
And they try to fight them in so many different ways. You create these things and then you fight them. It's your thought. You must be able to throw it and roll it back whenever you want, isn't it? You must be able to roll it out and roll it in as you want. But right now, your own ghosts have become so big that you want to fight them. If you win, you're really lost. Because something that is not true, if you fight and win it, you have really lost it, isn't it? So there is no such thing as negative and positive thought. Either it's a conscious thought or it's a diarrhea.
Honestly, that started making me think of how I've been coming to the conclusion that any form of resistance is not good resistance. I had a friend tell me the other day that hate in the heart of what we think is good people is the same hate that's in the heart of those other people that you're hating. The hate is just the same.
Yeah.
The resistance that you feel is just the same, whether you're resisting something that's good or you're resisting something that's bad, because you can open to resisting, you can stop resisting something that's good coming into your life. But then also the resistance, I feel, of the bad things creates more bad things in your life. If you're like pushing away, being like, no, I know I don't like that. I know I don't like that. And I'm going to adamantly tell everyone I know that I don't like this thing. Like, that is a form of resistance to it. That's not just opening your heart to love. That is also trying to close your heart to some things.
Yeah. Wow. It reminded me of in middle school, high school type times when I had kind of like a more tight-knit friend group.
Yeah.
And then there would be someone else who doesn't necessarily have a friend group because they're kind of known as being annoying. You know? They're just like, when they're around, they're just kind of bugging people. But so then everyone kind of looks at this person in a negative way. And all that does is further reciprocate and multiply the feelings within themselves and also the feelings within everyone else. Whereas if you had said, all right, let me try to move past that that like barrier of, oh, this person's annoying, and actually spoke with them and shown them compassion, then they would have also probably been able to kind of let down their walls that make them annoying, because they're just being annoying because they just want friends, and they're just trying to get something in their life that they don't have right now.
They're seeking attention.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that is what sort of annoying people tend to come from, is like maybe households or pasts where they just didn't feel like they got enough attention. So now they have this constant seeking of attention, which means you have to be the center of things, which creates this, I guess, annoying persona.
Wow.
But if you were just shown this love and attention and compassion from the get-go, like, we wouldn't have issues with building these annoying personas. Yeah.
Think about the times, this reminded me of COVID type stuff too. Think about the times that you've been lonely for a while, and then finally had the chance to talk to someone. And you're just like trying to talk to them, and you probably come off as annoying. And it's that same thing of just being like, I just need compassion right now. And
connection. Connection. Dang. Thanks, Sadhguru.
Jeez. Nice one.
So, how to stop this? See, suppose you are having diarrhea, physical diarrhea. First thing to do is, every other treatment is next. First thing to do is stop eating bad food, isn't it? Something caused diarrhea. First thing is stop eating bad food. Whatever caused this, stop that. This is the first thing you must do. Right now the bad food is just this. You identified yourself with something that you are not. Now you can't stop your thought process. Do what you want. You do any mantra you want, think of any god you want, do whatever the hell you want. The moment you identify yourself with something that you're not, you cannot stop your mind.
What did he say?
You're identifying with something that is
yes. You're identifying with something that's not your identity. This is an interesting one. Because for me personally, I'm realizing where I'm kind of at in the spiritual journey. Because I have a good amount of distance from my thoughts. Like, I can have these like kind of crazy spiral thoughts, and pretty easily avoid those and kind of recenter myself. The thing is, though, is that I'm still very much held on to the thing that I've identified myself with. Like the thinker of those thoughts. In the sense of like the ego type, kind of the thing that's created when life is in a body. We get this attachment to this body, which creates our ego, or this thing that we identify ourselves with when really we are this life creation. And that I'm still totally identified with. So even if I can avoid these run-on thoughts, but I haven't figured out how to silence those thoughts yet, because they are still completely identified with what I am, or what I think I am.
When you're recognizing that, something like I'm recognizing that I'm still identifying with things, the recognition means you are already most of the way there, you know, which is really cool. It's like, it's easy to think like, oh, I'm recognizing all these terrible things in my life, because there was a quote that I saw somewhere that was like, a little bit of consciousness makes you feel sick, and a lot of consciousness will set you free. Because when you get a little bit conscious of the things going around, the things going on in society, that you're recognizing all the terrible things that are happening, either to you or within you, or the things that you're doing that you would like to change, it weighs on you. It feels very heavy at first. It feels like all these things you were so blind to that you didn't even know was a possibility, like it's possible to live a better life. Once you recognize that, you realize how far back you are. You realize how far back everything else is around you, you know? And the recognition is hard. Like you're talking about recognizing the things you're identifying with. The recognition is difficult, but that does mean that you've made it farther than a lot of people are going to make it in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, not even to compare it to other people, but to just say, like, on your journey, each time you're recognizing these things, you're getting to that next step.
Yes.
You know, like you'll go through a process of recognizing things, digesting those things, and then getting conscious to the level of starting to move on from those things.
Yeah.
And then you start to feel this expanded sense of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And then you run into your next wall.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you start that process over again. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like the more you do that type of thing, the more you also start to appreciate that process. And you're like, oh, yes, now I have this kind of like thing that I can look at and move towards.
The process is hard. It's a big reason why we started this channel. To just like empower other people's process, to power our own processes, like
to do it with other people.
Which
has been so cool having all of you joining this.
Seriously.
If you have any friends, family, or if you yourself haven't yet officially
subscribed,
joined this journey, then as he was just saying, subscribe button, bell notification button, and we got a whole lot of content all about what it means to live a fulfilling life.
Jeez. Thanks again, Sadhguru.
Yes, some beautiful, beautiful thoughts.
He brings us to some nice places.
He does indeed. Thank you for being here. Let us know if you have any Sadhguru videos you would like us to watch or any other videos, because we are always looking for new stuff. Why is this guy laughing right now?
I'm just wondering which one you're gonna say at the end.
Oh no. Alright, it's gonna be a toss up.
Alright.
And as always,
Much love, everyone.